Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, it's now straight. We're going straight to our analysis for today. So I got my guest in the studio. He is Abdulaziz Idris. He is the chairman of Alhaji, Duste Alhaji Market Association and Traders Association of Nigeria. Great to have you on the show, Abdulaziz Idris.
Thank you for coming.
Yes. Okay, so now let's go straight. Our phone lines are now open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your questions, but please remember to leave it at just 1 minute to every caller, and please don't call us when you are close to your TV set. And let's start from Daily Trust this morning. Says curfew in Sokoto community as youth protest killing of district head. Now, with regards to, I wanted to take it from, first of all, from the hashtag End Bad Governance protest that happened, and all that happened in Kano State and in some other states, where in fact to an extent you started having youth carrying Russian flag or flying the Russian flag around, mostly in the north. And now you come back to youth protest because a district head was killed. I saw that video yesterday on social media and it wasn't looking so good. So what exactly, it looks as though, I'm trying to manage my word, but it looks as though when other people are protesting about one thing, you find that the north, they are really not interested at that time, but when they decide to protest, they just want to, okay, let's gather to scatter. Why is it so?
Yes, one major reason why you see sometimes, especially at this time, that in the north we're having a lot of protest, and the protest is somehow become a bit very violence, and also the youth resort to vandalization and so many other things, was because always in the north, northerners always try to put their foods or all their items in one basket when it comes to election. They have decided to vote in mass for this present government with expectation that things will be better. But within a short time, within the first year of this present administration, things become more harder.
So are they disappointed?
Yes. So
in just 1 year, less than 2 years?
Yes, in less than 2 years, they have met a lot of disappointments. And that disappointment leads to all these protests, lead to so many other things, you understand? So the protest, the raising of flags, of Russian flags in some part of North that happens during the last this August protest, some of them are ignorant. Those who were carrying the flags, majority of those young youths are ignorant of what it means. They don't know. Those who smuggled the flags, they have an ill intentions for the Nigeria and for the north.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
But they're from the north?
They can be from the north, because there must be people from the north that can connive with our neighboring country like Niger, which they already...
So you're saying that there's a connivance from Niger?
Of course, there's that. I'm not doubting that. Niger, mainly. So if, I'm sure there's a need for Nigerian securities and our politicians to investigate that flag, raising flag of Russian flags. But let's come back to the issue of this protest. The protest, as I said earlier on, was because Nigerian common man was pushed to the wall. What I mean is, they said a hungry man is an angry man. You have a farm, you cannot be able to go to the farm and do your farming. You have a house, you cannot be able to sleep with 2 eyes in your house. You cannot close your eyes and sleep in your house, in your bedroom. You cannot be able to travel from one neighboring town or from neighboring state to another state, you can be kidnapped along the way. Bandits and kidnappers taking advantage of everyone.
But I hear you loud and clear when you say that you can't sleep with your two eyes closed, banditry and kidnapping. But it didn't start in the last 2 years. It's been there over time, even with this administration.
Yes, of course.
So why vent out on this present administration?
Yes, this present administration, let me put it that way, inherited this problem of this banditry and kidnapping.
Right.
This thing started, let me assume, like 10 years or 9 years ago. You understand? When it becomes so serious. But why? We need to ask questions. Maybe we could have answers. But the problem I see, number one, is because both our governments, our securities, and our politicians are not, I don't see them having zeal and willingness to end this banditry in the northern Nigeria. You know, there's vested interest. I mean, there's an international politics in this banditry from the northern Nigeria. You have to ask yourself a question: why there's no banditry in the western and southern, or either this border countries like Niger, Benin Republic, Chad, and Cameroon? The border we have with them, there is no banditry in there. Why is it only Nigeria? Why is it northern Nigeria, even in that same Nigeria? So all these problems didn't start today, yeah, I know.
All right.
But as I said, there's an international politics.
All right, let's hold your thought, please. Let's quickly take this call.
And connivance, okay.
Hello, good morning. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so the willingness and zeal within our military, within our political leaders, is not, if you look at it, it's not there. The budget is big for the military, and there's no audit. The police too, no audit. Why can't they? We're in 21st century. Why can't they track these people? Why can't they meet them and clear them? Or if these people need, maybe they are brainwashed, you can use other means, diplomatic means.
So where are you seeing this sabotage? Is it with the politicians, the lawmakers, or the security agencies?
I'm seeing the sabotage from all angles. From angle.
Are you also indicting the security agencies too?
No. What I mean is, what I mean here is that if a governor or a local government chairman or a house of rep or senator can canvass all his constituency, all his state, looking for votes, why can't they canvass his support and the willingness to encourage communities to know? Community knows about this terrain. The terrain is well known. We have hunters, we have the rural dwellers, we have the what do you call it, vigilantes. All the terrain where this banditry is going on is well known by our security agencies. Is well known by the local community dwellers. Why can't put hands together and now sit down and pace this banditry to a finish?
So do you actually see an end to this? Because if you look at the Leadership Friday newspaper, it says Northern elders fret over kidnap and killing of monarchs, condemn murder of Sirikin Gobir, and situation worrisome coming from the House of Rep Speaker Abbas and Governor Aliyu. The North must find solution to insecurity now. That's coming from Senator Shehu Sani. Is this ever possible?
Yes, it is.
Finding this solution. Because if you say that they are vested interest, it means that anyone who has, it's just like you having a business, and then you know that we've always been hearing that the reason why you would always have electricity issue is because they are vested interest. People have investment in generating set and all of that.
Yes.
So that's why you always have that issue. So if people at the helm of affair have vested interest in insecurity, then do you see an end in sight, especially in the north?
Look, this thing can come to an end if, as I said, if we can come together. These bandits, how many are they? The kidnappers, how many are they? They are few compared to these certain states like Katsina, Zamfara, and Sokoto that are they are moving freely there. They are few, and let me tell you one thing is that if you see any bandit, if you see any member of bandit or kidnappers, he must be from one family,
right,
which is well known in within that dwelling. So why can't if our military forces, maybe they using guns, that menace cannot be solved, why can't we use how do you call it, community policing or community dialogue to push out? No, we know this. They know these boys. They know them. Call them. Preach to them.
How about those inside the bushes, the forest? Will the community of vigilantes be able to fetch them out?
They can. Most of the vigilantes, as I said, among them there are even hunters who they can go into. There's not all the bushes there. They are used to the terrain. They know it all. You understand? There's nowhere that can be hidden for them. No forest in that place that they didn't know.
All right. Let's quickly go to our phone line and pick some calls. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. My name is Raymond from Jos.
Raymond from Jos, go ahead. Your phone line is on now.
Okay, the problem with our dear country is sentiment. If you are aware, when Buhari was the president of this country, there were protest answers. They not refused to protest. Now, Tinubu is the president of this country. The protest of bad government was more in the north. You see, if every citizen of this country, I keep saying the government is not a problem of this country, but the citizen, if every citizen can stand up to their responsibility and say to their leader they choose, we are tired of your wrongdoing, we are tired of the way you are leading us, and if we can remove tribalism, religion out of our mindset, Nigeria will be a great country.
I agree.
It's difficult for the northern to vote for the eastern, vice versa. You see, let we the citizens choose who is credible to lead us. Let's forget religion and other sentiments. See, Nigeria is a very good place to live. If we develop our country with our own, we will not be going outside, we will not be seeking for loan. We the citizens, let's stand up for our responsibility. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution. Very well taken. Now, let me take it from what the caller just talked about during former President Muhammadu Buhari. When they talked about the hashtag EndSARS protest, you have the Northerners saying that protest is haram. So they're not going to come out to protest against him. So now they are the ones that are coming in full force to protest, especially in the north. So what happened in Kano, in Kaduna, and some other states. Should we add ethnicity, tribalism, nepotism into all of this? Because I remember having a conversation with Solomon Dalong, and then he also stated the same thing, that it would be very unfair for the northerners to come out to say that they want to protest, because during the Buhari's time, they called it haram. So why did all of a sudden it wasn't haram anymore?
Yes, no, I totally disagree with his opinion on this. Well, he looks at it as ethnic thing or tribalistic matter.
Is it?
Yeah, I disagree with him, what I said. I disagree with him. The reason is that the same people that came and said protest is haram earlier on, they still came out and say protest is still haram this time around. They are the scholars, northern Islamic scholars. They said it openly. Say protest is haram. It's not allowed in Islam. You must initiate dialogue with the leaders. That's what it says, and that they came out and said clear terms. They said it point blank.
But is that what? Let me ask you. Let me divert a little bit and ask you so that our viewers are able to get context to it.
Yes.
does the Holy Quran say anything about protest? Or is it just few people say that it is haram from the Quran?
No, that matter came from hadith mostly. What I can be able to assert that there is a hadith. I cannot be able to quote it now, but I am sure that in the leadership style of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his companions did not protest. They do not accept protest, but rather they engage in dialogues whenever there is a problem to address. You understand? And that's the solution to it, not protest. But when he said that during NSAS, or Western Nigeria or East, wherever, have protest, but North refuse to protest during NSAS, we need to draw a line to understand what is NSAS, what is end bad governance. There are two different things to me. And NSAS, they are talking mainly about police brutality at that time.
Right.
Is that not so? So if you look at police brutality, what causes police brutality? In the North, we don't have so much, there's criminality everywhere. But the issues that might bring the police brutality in the North is minimal compared to the West and East. You get what I mean? So many people don't involve in police issues or criminal issues than the people from West and either part of the other country, you understand? Right. So in that aspect, there could be some really police brutality, but it's a minimal. And the call, I don't think that NSAS call was meant to become entirely national. If you look at the organizers of the NSAS, mostly they organize everything, they plan everything in Lagos. And mostly they do it mainly in Lagos and Abuja. It doesn't, even in other Western states, I didn't see.
So are you saying that this one is nationwide?
Apart from Lagos, yes. But look at this present protest of hunger. They call it hunger protest in the past place. Some of them target end bad governance. As I said earlier on, not even me. Many people have said it. Even Chief Audu, I can recall one of his videos during his summit. He said the tragedy of Nigeria didn't start today. It has been since May around 1986 when he was quoting. You understand? But when we look at this protest presently, when they target hunger protest, that's why the North took it and put on the head. Because really there's hunger in the land. As I said, you have a farm, you cannot go to the farm. There's no income in your pockets. The little money you have become valueless. Something that you can buy with 1,000 naira, now you have to buy it with 10,000. You have to get more money to buy. If you don't have it, you stay like that.
All right.
The hunger is too much, you understand? So that hunger tag, they gave it hunger protest. That's why North took it. But I know they went too far, especially when the protest was hijacked by talks and hoodlums. And under it, even at the same time, there were some people that hide under that protest to attain political achievement, political, how do I put
relevance.
it? Relevance.
Why? Who are you speaking to?
Political undertone. No, I'm not speaking.
Are you speaking to someone in particular?
No, I'm not speaking to. I cannot mention any name. But if you look at it, in some places, like I can just give you an example of my state, even in my local government in Jigawa State, a House of Rep member who is here in Abuja doing his work. They ransacked his house, vandalized the whole house. And this is a person that I know, he's trying his best. I have never sat down or met with him, talked with him, but I have seen, from what I'm seeing, what he's doing to the young people, distributing vehicles,
all right. We'll take it
finding
from that,
job for them. Yeah.
We'll take it from that Jigawa State. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm the one still calling back, Raymond.
Raymond, okay. You have less than 1 minute.
I want to say something to the side in the studio. You see, there's one good part in our national anthem that says in brotherhood we stand. sentiment is a problem of this country. We look like now, the Yoruba man cannot speak bad against Tinubu. Let's be frank. It's unrealistic. So what I'm saying in essence is, let's forget religion, tribalism, wherever you come from. Let's focus on the country called Nigeria. In government, there is no tribe. Therefore, in a country, there should be no tribe or religion. You see, this country is a great country, but we are just, you see, when you say corruption or anything, it is even worse within us, the citizens. That's just the truth.
Absolutely.
So, everybody should rise up to his responsibility.
All right.
Let's make this country great. Even this Boko Haram, IPOP, and the rest, those perpetrating all these evil acts, to be honest, we know them. We, the citizens, we know them. But how many can come out and say, this person is bad, this person is bad? You can't get it. So
all right.
When answers, whether it is in Lagos or in Abuja, let's focus on that national anthem that says, in brotherhood we start.
Though tongues and tribes may differ. Thank you so much, Raymond from Jos. Your point is very well taken. I like the fact that he stated that in brotherhood we stand, though tongues and tribes may differ. And then he said that when the IPOBs, those killing people, the Boko Harams, because you also stated that they're all from a family. So it means that definitely we all know it could be from somebody's family, and they will say, oh, that XYZ family has a Boko Haram. But you will not come out to state it. You just keep it to yourself, and then we are the ones that are still complaining insecurity. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, I'm calling from Warri. My name is Choba.
Choba from Warri. Go ahead. You have 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you, madam. You presented a good question to your second over there concerning the answers protesting. The whole start protest, not only Lagos, even as far to Delta, Edo, and perhaps even as far to Rivers. But the whole start, but both the east. But they not, they talk to them, the people, where because they are very in power. That is why they have that interest. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Choba. Great to hear from you. All right, let's divert a little because you talked about Jigawa State. Now, I wanted to find out because I remember having a conversation with one of the representatives from Jigawa State, and the way he pointed or the way he portrayed Jigawa State, it looks as though insecurity is not really like you guys have been able to really deal with insecurity better than what you have in other parts of the north. So what exactly is the governor of Jigawa State doing, or the community people of Jigawa State doing, or the representatives of Jigawa State doing that other northern states are not emulating from, that they should also emulate from?
Yeah, there are so many reasons behind this. Number one, Jigawa State, geographically, if you study the terrain very well, you find out we don't have that kind of dark forest where criminals can go and hide inside it. That's number one. Okay,
just hold your thought on that first one. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Number two is that the community itself, we're not sleeping. We try to know whoever comes. If somebody, a stranger came into any community in Jigawa, he must be reported there. Then they must have to find out who is this person, where he came from.
So you can spot every visitor.
Yes, in Jigawa State. The community are working effectively to that. You understand? Then at the same time, maybe according to my findings, let me put it that way, if you took like Zamfara State, in particular, and some part of Katsina, there were gold mineral resources and other things in that area. Well, it has not yet been discovered in Jigawa, in anywhere in Jigawa State.
So the problem is because they have those natural resources,
those natural resources, yes.
And you don't have.
I can also we don't have, but I don't know whether findings have been made or not.
Okay, so the problem now is that bandits or insecurity goes straight to where they find
Yeah,
those
those
things?
mineral resources.
Okay.
They use those mineral resources
For terrorism financing?
Yes, for terrorism financing, and the vested interest, especially the political, the international vested interest, that they don't want Nigeria to stand on its self-sufficiency on food and other things. We're also behind it. Apart from the goals, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, that you see, in the northern Nigeria is why we have the opportunity to have a large-scale farming in hundreds of kilometers. If, for example, like governments or some rich individuals want to invest in agriculture, these are mainly the areas: Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Niger. Are you with me?
Right.
So, in that aspect, why I say the vested interest, both internal and international, is because if they knew that if Nigeria stands, we were able to produce the food that the Nigeria needs. We were able to make the food sufficiency in our country.
Are you still
food
also
security.
accusing the international?
I do. I'm sure there must be connections. If you check very well, there must be connections.
Do they have anything to do with banditry that is affecting farmers?
Yes,
and why we're having food?
They
having food insecurity.
They were using our youths, the bad eggs among them. They were recruiting them, giving them guns to kill people.
But do you have an evidence
with no reason? Yes. What evidence do you want? All the videos going around. You see helicopters.
Those are social media
dropping guns to them, giving them monies. No, it's beyond social media. It's beyond social media. We have to agree with the facts. We have to agree. We have to know. If you go to the securities, they will tell you they might have some traces. It happens on several occasions. When security agencies will trace some spots whereby it indicates that there were some international merchants. They caught, on several occasions, they caught white people in Nigeria training these people. You remember the Boko Haram issue in Borno State? On several occasions, they caught white people in the midst of these terrorists, teaching them, training them on how to use guns and other ammunitions. All these things are the reasons why we are having attack from all over, internally and externally.
All right. We need to move straight to other stories. Heard a headline.
Yes.
It says Chinese firm seizes another Nigeria jet in Canada. What are your thoughts in this regard? I recall talking about the presidential jet with all of the controversies surrounding the presidential jet or the presidential vehicle, the Maybach and the Cadillac rather, and so many talks around it. Most people said, oh, during the other presidential administration or during the other administrations, they didn't buy something as expensive as that. You have other persons who saw Peter Obi saying that presidential jet at this point in time when Nigerians are hungry, but then they still went ahead to pick up the presidential jets with all of the stories around it. But now they say Chinese firm seizes another presidential Nigeria's jet in Canada. Let's get your thought, but before you go ahead, let's quickly take this call. Good morning.
Okay.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm Joshua calling from Sokoto.
Joshua from Sokoto State. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually want to revisit the first point
Right.
that was made by your guest.
Go ahead.
You can see this, the area where we have all these natural resources being, I think they have political undertones. Because the government, those bandits, they are used as soldier ants that guide those perpetrators who are majorly politicians. To fight for the natural resources that have been found in those states. I think if they can fight bandits, it's something very easy we can do.
All right.
They should first of all, I think those political power affairs, they should track them down.
All right. Thank you so much, Joshua from Sokoto State. Your point is taken. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, we're talking about seizure of
Nigerian jets,
in France before, now in Canada, and so on and so forth. You see, this is an embarrassing situation.
Why is this so?
To our nation. And why is it embarrassing? It's because why Nigeria? Why are they seizing our jets in France and now in Canada? Why? What is the problem with our relationship with China? We need to find out all this. But the problem, I read it, this issue started from Ogun State, if I can recall, whereby the governor entered into a pre-trade done contract with this China PEM. You understand? So, and this governor has already left office. But why is it at this time they are seizing Nigeria's properties all over? Because of this, they want to embrace Nigeria. Nigeria has an embassy in China. China has an embassy in Nigeria. Why can't the diplomatic and the foreign affairs ministers sit down and look at this matter squarely, resolve it without even escalating to this level? Why are they embracing Nigeria? You understand? You hear many views from different people. Our leaders, our political leaders, some of them, they resort to enter a kind of contracts that sometimes, if they feel later it's not, they are not comfortable with it or they are not benefiting more from it, they'll just abandon it like that without putting proper documentation of termination for that contract documentation. You understand? I'm not learned, I'm not lawyer, but I think federal government need to draw a line for state governors, whereby any contracts they want to enter with any foreign PEM, it has to be thoroughly investigated and thoroughly understand if there's a need for it to be terminated. Also, there must be full documentation.
Right.
You understand? Whereby wherever they go, either national or internationally, it can be tackled.
All right, let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Awusko and I'm calling from Kaduna.
Go ahead, please. You have 1 minute.
You see, the federal government says they cannot tolerate subversive activity. But you see, they cannot tolerate
subversion in any guise.
Democracy.
Right.
But unfortunately, the kind of democracy we hope Nigeria was to get is not what we have now. What we have now is a civil dictatorial regime where the dividends of democracy is only enjoyed by those people in the government. The only few good people are enjoying this democracy, while majority of Nigerians are suffering hunger, deprivation, insecurity. Is this the kind of democracy we should protect? Certainly not. We want a democracy where government by the people, for the people, and for the people. One where with a government that cannot, since 1999, government that cannot give Nigerians 24-hour electricity. How do we celebrate people like that? People who steal our money and do free bargain. How can we defend such democracy? People who cannot give us employment. We have massive unemployment, massive health problem. Is it the democracy we have? We hope for the defending Nigeria. If our ruling elite should sit up and reshape this democracy,
all right,
benefit the ordinary Nigerian, or else they should sit for to get their result. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Your point is very well taken. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This is Ayo calling from Ogun State.
Ayo from Ogun State. Go ahead.
Yeah, the issue of this insecurity, everybody is like, they are saying, focusing only on the northern side of this country. But I bet you it's affecting every part of the country.
Definitely.
Now, I believe recently, look at the price of perishable goods like the tomatoes and so on. Now, I believe when farmers have been kidnapped and they are being released, you know, these farmers, they are not fools. The money being paid as ransom will be put on what they are producing, they are selling out. These farmers are scared to go to farm. Now, their farm with enough security. You know, they are now patronizing private people to provide security for them. You know, all these things we have to the cost of what they are going to sell at the market.
Definitely.
So people are just saying this quality is just affecting the northern part. It's affecting everybody. And mind you, this northern part are the ones feeding the nation. Sincerely, how many farms we have in the west or in the east that will feed Nigeria? So this is collaborative effort. We can't be saying the north alone. It's collaborative.
All right.
Right? You look at what happened in the east. Now they are like they brought Boko Haram from the north to the east. And meanwhile, it's even the ABG that are doing that. But because people have seen that the Boko Haram are from the north, these are from the north, they are just saying north. It's collaborative effort.
All right, thank you so much. Your point is very well taken. Let's move straight to other headline as we begin to round off. I'll put two headlines together and I'd like you to take them in one breath. Daily Independent says Tinubu's government won't tolerate subversion any guise, coming from the federal government, and I'm sure you heard the last caller talk about it. Says present administration has clear mandate of the people. And then according to our last caller who stated that even the last over 2 decades of democracy, Nigerians are yet to reap the real dividends of democracy. And if you look at one of the stanza of our formal, that's the old national anthem that has been dropped, that talked about the labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain. So after over 2 decades of democracy, are those the labors that they worked for, is it in vain? Does it look like it's in vain to you? That's one on the side. And the second headline, I can't remember where I found it, but it's talking about fuel scarcity, the reason why we still have fuel queues up until now, according to marketers and according to Ipman. They said the reason why there's still fuel scarcity is because of distribution channel. Sometimes they'll come out to tell you that it's because there's flood, so the trailers are not able to move. They've been hijacked, and so many stories. But yet Nigerians are still queuing for fuel even up until now.
Yeah, looking at your first question, whether our heroes first have labored in vain or something like, to me, we have come to a time whereby we need to enumerate, we need to sit down and look at the democratic dividends that we derived out of this democracy, out of our national commitments. Now, if you look at it, to me, the labor has not been in vain over time, because we were able to achieve some level of development. Yet, yes, we have setbacks. But in the same time, this is a Nigeria whereby back in those years, it has to be they have to be using force to send people to schools. But now we go to school by ourselves. You understand? This is a time whereby, in terms of infrastructure, Nigeria has made a tremendous development. In terms of agriculture too, we were able to make a progress. I know I told you, like, yes, we have some setbacks.
So we've actually moved. We're not where we used to be.
No, we moved. Okay. We moved.
We're still work in progress.
Yes, we are working in progress. Democracy itself, if you look at it, past republic, second republic was interrupted by military. But from 1999 to date, we are electing our governors, our presidents, our members, and so on, with our terms. This is part of development. We are making progress. You understand what I mean? Now, if you look at where we're having setbacks, is because of corruption has eaten deep into our nations. The common man and also the leaders, if you look at them sometimes, they do things you sit back and be asking yourself, why are we not patriotic? Why can't we be a better citizens? Why can't we remove, as somebody even said earlier on, he accused of he made accusation of sentiments to some maybe other part of it. It's not always, but at the same time, yes, there could be some sentiments, but at the same time, if you look at it clearly, corruption is the bedrock of Nigeria's setback.
So I was talking to a particular, sorry I had to butt in, I was talking to a particular military officer, and then he just said, with all that is happening, what Nigeria just need is another military incursion. If maybe for 2 years, just have a military person rule Nigeria, that would actually put their brains straight. Do you agree with such? Because now on our social media post, we have one of the stories saying Cameroon president, that's Paul Biya, is set to contest again at 93. But we don't have such happening in Nigeria.
Yes, that's why I said we have we're progressing. But as you mentioned, repeat your question.
I was talking about the military guy that said
the military. You see, just if you check very well, during the August 1st, 10th protest, some people were clamoring for less military come and take over. As I said, some people are ignorant of what military dictatorship is. They don't know how. They cannot sit down and be able to enumerate what we achieve democratically. That's why they will be thinking of military. Military is not good for a nation like Nigeria, because you don't even have the right at that time to even come and do this protest. You don't have that time. You cannot do it. It's because of democracy, because the democracy acknowledge that you have the right to protest. You understand what I mean? So now, if military come into Nigeria, it's not going to do good for us, but bad to us. Right. So we don't need military in Nigeria. What we need to do is that our leaders must sit off. Our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu need to sit off, because Nigerians have a kind of big competence. Let me put it this way. The competence Nigerians has in him, for voting him, is beyond imagination. And that's why now when Nigerians find out that this is somebody that we have competence in him 100%, and we look at his expertise, his experience that he has when he was senator, when he was governor, when he was this or that, you understand? That's why they now say, no, this is not the Tinubu we elected before.
But isn't that the same sentiment they gave during former President Buhari, when they said, we know him when he was a military officer, so we knew what he was doing during his time with Ediagbo and all of that. But then later they come back to say, oh, what happened?
Yes. There's a difference between Buhari and Tinubu.
What is the difference? Good.
The difference is that Buhari was once a military man. He wore khaki, and he later dropped that khaki
and changed to
Agbada, and now contested election.
So what is the difference?
Several times.
That should even make it better.
No, yes, it can be better, but we expect to be more better from somebody like Tinubu. The reason is Tinubu, as I said, he was throughout his life, let me put it that way, he's a politician. Right from the military time, NADECO, he is part and parcel of NADECO,
right.
Looking for how to have a democratic setting in Nigeria. Then after that, when the democracy started, he has been all along. Look at the time of Abiola, he was together. Look at the time of, Obasanjo, in 1999, he's the governor of Lagos State. He performs excellently in Lagos. You understand what I mean? So with his contribution and with his level of expertise, how he manages Lagos, how he manages Southwest politics, is what makes people have to have more confidence in him.
All right, you
need vote for him.
You need to talk. Just give 1 minute. Talk about the fuel scarcity. They say it's
yes.
distribution channel. Our time is fast spent.
You see, this fuel scarcity issue that has been, for long, been disturbing our heart and our nation is really pathetic. We have this oil in the soil of the lands of the Nigeria, and yet we are still queuing. I saw one video just recently, somebody was sent to me, showing a queue of fuel scarcity in 1974, sorry, in 1974.
And in 2024.
And now we're in 2024. How many years? Almost 50 years, have we? 50 years. We are still having queue on fuel.
So it's more like you're inside the stream or the river, and yet you are thirsty.
You are thirsty. So now, when I sit down, I look at what is the problem of this fuel issue. Why are we having problem? Why are we every time having scarcity when we have the fuel, we have the crude oil, and we have the capacity to refine, we have everything that it takes to do, but yet we're having fuel scarcity problem. I always, there's a certain time I sit down and look at the past administration. What do they do? How do they abate, or how do they curb the problem of this fuel scarcity in Nigeria? One of the best, to me, one of the best pointers I made, and the best president that deal with this matter was late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. He took a lot of measures. If his measures were implemented, even as this time as I'm speaking to you, with the removal of subsidy, people might not acknowledge that subsidy is being removed, supposing that those measures he put in place were continued.
All right, thank you so much, Abdulaziz Idris, Chairman, Duste Alhaji Market and Traders Association, and political analyst. It's been a wonderful time talking to you.
It is my pleasure.
All right, viewers, I'm sorry we might not be able to take much on our social media because our time is fast spent, but there's a story on Cameroon president to contest again at 93. And that's the President Paul Biya of Cameroon set to contest again. Like we stated, you can't see things like that happen in Nigeria. Oops. Okay, so Annie Divya penciled down a very lovely word for her husband. She says, "You are not just my man. You are my home, my rest, my heart, my safe place. You are mine, only mine." Nice to see things like that. And the next one here says, supplements meant for malnourished children are being diverted and sold in Sokoto, coming from UNICEF. That's the kind of things that we used to see in Nigeria. Supplements meant for malnourished children being sold and diverted in Sokoto State. You people are the problem of Nigeria, not the government. I'll quickly take a last video from El Rufai where he was finally his thesis were accepted and now he's a doctor. I love that video so much. I'll take it before I leave you.
Knowledge project and as an activism and also feminism, Muslim feminism.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Liebe and Daud, thank you very much. So I'm in this very fortunate position to be the very first to congratulate Emir Sanusi on having passed the examination without any corrections. So the thesis stands and is passed by the two external examiners as it was submitted. So there is no further work to be done. This is a clear pass, which is one of the options as.
All right. If you're a student, either from as an undergraduate, you finish your project and it was acknowledged and passed, and then you're a postgraduate or a doctorate student, and you finish your thesis and it was accepted, you already know that feeling that El Rufai had. It is a eureka and surreal moment. Congratulations, Dr. Emir Nasir. I beg your pardon, Dr. Emir Sanusi. It's really a very wonderful experience to have such, and I congratulate you. All of us here at KAFTAN TV congratulate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you again on Monday morning, 9 a.m. But before Monday morning on the press, keep watching KAFTAN television, and I'll see you Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on DCOMSAT. My name is Annabel Orji. God bless you and yours. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Have yourselves a very wonderful weekend. And please just chill. Wahala no dey finish.